Hey, what's up everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to today's video, how to avoid shoulder pain at a computer. So I'm standing at my desk today, taking a look at my notes. Just want to let you guys know that, but all of these principles, these three principles we're going to talk about today, they apply regardless of what position we're working in. Sitting in a chair, sitting in a stool, or working in a reclined position. We'll talk about more of that in another video. So number one, what I want to do is I want to learn the types of shoulder rotation if I sit at a computer for 40 hours a week. The first one is internal, and this is a big problem throughout sports and exercise, and especially through computer posture. So right now, if I was to say stress, I'm really stressed out in my computer job, standing or I'm sitting, and I would hunch forward like that. What that does right there is that's internal shoulder rotation right there. We want to make sure we avoid that as much as possible when we're working on a computer, because speaking from experience, when you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week with your shoulder internally rotated like that, it just becomes stuck in that position. You get off work, you go to exercise, it's stuck in that position. You lay down to go to bed, it's stuck in that position. So internal shoulder rotation is just that slight movement right there, which internally rotates the shoulder. So now external shoulder rotation is another type of shoulder rotation. It doesn't really apply to computer posture, but if we're to do like a door stretch, like walk into a door and put our forearms along the door jamb, that's external rotation. So like that, or if we were throwing a ball, when we're right there, that's external rotation before we get into that internal rotation. The last part is actually not a rotation. It's not rotated at all. It's just neutral. So that's how I'm standing right now. If I was sitting, it would be the same way, just neutral. Here's internal, and here's neutral. So we want to try to maintain that neutral position as much as possible. Once we find that neutral position, we want to avoid overextending that shoulder, because even though we're in a neutral position and we're not internally rotated, we can still overextend. So how I try to do that, my keyboard is like straight down right here. I try to keep my torso as close to the keyboard as I possibly can. Now let's say, for example, if I was way back here and my keyboard's up here, my shoulders are still technically in a neutral position, but they're definitely overextended. And that's not something that I want to do for 40 hours a week, 2,000 hours a year. Think of it as driving a car. You know, you keep the steering wheel, you keep your elbows comfortably biceps comfortably contracted driving. You don't drive like this because, you know, it'll make you hunch forward, extend your upper back, and overextend the internal rotators on that shoulder. So number three is my elbow is always slightly higher than my keyboard and my mouse. You can't really see it from this video, but you can tell that my keyboard is not up here. That's what I definitely want to avoid. When you do that, and this is speaking from experience when I used to do that, in order to lift my hands onto the keyboard and the mouse, it takes contraction from that bicep. And to hold your hands up there, you have to hold that contraction in that bicep all day long. And I never really noticed that was a problem until the tendons that connected my biceps to my shoulder became inflamed. And I was like, why do I have shoulder issues from sitting at a computer? It just doesn't really seem right. I'm not doing any overhead presses or any overextension or anything like that. But it was from that bicep being contracted all day long. And those biceps lead to tendons that connect to the shoulder. So the tendons pretty much get inflamed and painful way before a thick muscle like a bicep would. So I always want to keep my elbow slightly higher than my keyboard and my mouse, never below the keyboard. I like to keep my forearms at a slightly of a downward angle. Sorry, you can't see it, I'll stay on my toes. Slightly at a downward angle and tucked into my rib cage. A lot of people like to use their forearms parallel to the floor. I just think that's a little bit too much contraction for me in the bicep and the elbow. So I like to have mine a little bit more relaxed at a downward angle. As long as we're avoiding that upward angle from the elbow to the wrist, then that's the position we want to be in. So let's go for a quick summary real quick. Learn the types of shoulder rotation and keep a neutral position as much as possible. Here's a neutral position here. Here's internal, that's what we want to avoid. Stay in that neutral position as much as possible. Number two of the summary, don't overextend when in that position. Here's a comfortable position right here, and here is overextension right here. Man, I feel that in my collarbone and all kinds of places other than my shoulder. So we do not want to overextend one in that neutral position. And finally, my elbow is always slightly higher than my keyboard and my mouse. Again, that's just personal preference. A lot of people have their elbow even with the desk, so their forearm is parallel to the floor. Mine is at a slightly downward angle from the elbow to the wrist. That's just how I like it. And that's it for today's video, how to avoid shoulder pain at a computer. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life as well as your computer posture. If you want to keep up with all of my content, the easiest way to do that is sign up for free email updates. I have an email newsletter called Computer Posture Weekly. Comes out every Friday. You can find that at sittingposture.com/newsletter. I'll put that link down into the details of this video. Again, I don't send out I only send out one email a week. I don't spam or sell email addresses. What that email will contain is one link to the article that I wrote for my website that week, as well as 2 links to the YouTube videos that I posted that week. So that newsletter, Computer Posture Weekly, is the easiest way to keep up with me. And of course, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. That way you'll see my videos in your feed more often. And that's it for today's video, how to avoid shoulder pain at a computer. Thanks for visiting. This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. We'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.